If you grew up watching late-night cartoons, you probably remember Courage the Cowardly Dog. It was the kind of show that made you laugh 1 minute and shiver the next, blending slapstick humor with moments of genuine terror. Most episodes were strange, sure, but they always ended with Courage saving the day, no matter how scared he was. But there's one episode that fans still whisper about. A lost episode, they say, that was so disturbing it was pulled from the air after a single broadcast. They call it the episode that screamed back. I first heard about it on an old internet forum, buried in a thread about the creepiest moments in children's television. Someone claimed they'd seen the episode late one night, years ago, and that it was nothing like the others. The story went that the episode started normally enough. Courage, Eustace, and Muriel in their ramshackle farmhouse, the wind howling outside, the TV flickering in the corner. But something was off from the very beginning. The colors were washed out, the animation jittery, and the background music was replaced by a low, droning hum. According to the Post, the plot was simple. Courage hears a scream coming from the woods behind the house. He tries to warn Eustace and Muriel, but they ignore him. As usual, the scream comes again, louder this time, and Courage is drawn outside, trembling but determined to protect his family. The woods are darker than usual, the trees twisted and looming, their branches reaching out like claws. As Courage ventures deeper, the scream grows louder, more desperate, echoing through the night. But here's where things get strange. Instead of finding the source of the scream, Courage finds himself face to face with a shadowy figure, tall, thin, with glowing eyes and a mouth that stretches impossibly wide. The figure doesn't move, doesn't speak. It just stares at Courage, its mouth opening wider and wider until it fills the entire screen. Then suddenly, the figure lets out a scream so loud and distorted that it shakes the speakers, making the viewer's skin crawl. The Post claimed that the scream wasn't just a sound effect. It was something more. People who watched the episode said they felt it in their bones, a vibration that left them dizzy and nauseous. Some said the lights in their house flickered, or that their TVs glitched and went black for a few seconds. Others claimed they heard whispers in the static, voices calling their names, begging them to turn off the TV. The episode ended with Courage running back to the farmhouse, only to find Eustace and Muriel gone. The house was empty, the windows shattered, the wind howling through the broken glass. Courage sat in the middle of the living room, shaking, as the shadowy figure appeared outside the window, its mouth still open in a silent scream. After that, the screen supposedly cut to static, just white noise and flickering shadows. But some viewers claimed the episode didn't end there. They said if you watched long enough, you'd see Courage's eyes slowly turn toward the screen, as if he could see you watching him. His mouth would open, and for a split second, you'd hear your own name whispered through the static, followed by another bone-rattling scream. The forum post ended with a warning. If you ever find a copy of this episode, don't watch it alone. And whatever you do, don't watch it in the dark. Most people in the thread laughed it off, calling it a classic creepypasta, just another internet ghost story. But a few users chimed in with their own experiences, stories about old VHS tapes found at garage sales, late-night reruns that didn't match any known episode, and nightmares that lingered for weeks after seeing Courage's terrified face. Curious, I started digging deeper. I searched every fan site, every lost media wiki, every obscure Courage the Cowardly Dog forum I could find. The details changed from story to story, but the core was always the same. A lost episode, a scream that felt too real, and a sense that something had crossed over from the TV into the real world. Some people claimed the episode aired only once in the early 2000s during a late-night Cartoon Network marathon. Others said it was never broadcast at all, just a tape that circulated among animators and collectors, always with the same warning attached. I even found a supposed screenshot, grainy, low-res, but unmistakably Courage, his eyes wide with terror, the shadowy figure looming behind him. The caption read, "He's still screaming." It sent a chill down my spine, even though I knew it was probably fake. But the more I read, the more I started to wonder, what if there was some truth to the story? What if there really was an episode that was never meant to be seen? One night I decided to see for myself. I found a link on a sketchy video site, promising the episode that screamed back, full uncut. Against my better judgment, I clicked play. The video started with the familiar Courage theme, but the colors were off, the music warped and slow. The episode played out just like the stories described. Courage, the scream in the woods, the shadowy figure, the scream that seemed to shake the room. But when the static hit, my screen flickered. For a moment I thought I saw my own reflection in Courage's eyes, and I swear I heard my name whispered in the static. I slammed my laptop shut, heart pounding, and sat in the dark, listening to the silence. I tried to laugh it off, telling myself it was just a trick of the mind, a combination of late-night nerves and the power of suggestion. But the feeling wouldn't go away. My room felt colder, the shadows deeper, and every time I glanced at my laptop, I half expected the screen to flicker back to life on its own. I didn't sleep much that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Courage's terrified face, the shadowy figure looming behind him, and that endless, silent scream. The next morning, I checked my laptop. The video link was gone, replaced by an error message. I searched for it again, but every site that had mentioned the episode seemed to have been wiped clean. Even the forum thread where I'd first read about it had disappeared, as if it had never existed. I tried to convince myself it was just a coincidence, but the unease lingered over the next few days. Strange things started happening. My TV would turn on by itself in the middle of the night, always to a blank channel filled with static. Once, I woke up to find the Courage theme songs playing softly from my phone, even though I hadn't opened any apps. I started hearing whispers in the static, just faint enough that I couldn't make out the words, but always there, just beneath the surface. I told a few friends about what had happened, but they just laughed, saying I'd let an internet story get under my skin. Maybe they were right, but then one of them, who'd watched the show as a kid, messaged me late one night. "I had a weird dream," she wrote. "Courage was screaming, and I couldn't turn off the TV. I think I heard my name." She brushed it off as a coincidence, but I could tell she was rattled. I started to wonder if the episode was more than just a story. Maybe it was a kind of urban legend that spread like a virus, infecting anyone who heard about it, making them see things that weren't there. Or maybe, just maybe, there really was a lost episode, one that was never meant to be seen, one that left a mark on everyone who watched it. I stopped searching for the video after that. I deleted my browser history, cleared my downloads, and tried to forget the whole thing. But sometimes, late at night, I'll hear a faint scream in the distance, or catch a glimpse of Courage's wide, terrified eyes in the reflection of my screen. And I wonder if the episode is still out there, waiting for someone else to find it. I started avoiding anything to do with Courage, the cowardly dog. I changed the channel if a rerun came on, scrolled past memes and fan art, even muted the theme song if it popped up on social media. But the more I tried to distance myself, the more the memories crept in. Sometimes I'd hear a dog barking outside late at night, and my mind would flash back to that shadowy figure in the woods, the scream that seemed to echo through the house. I'd wake up sweating, convinced I'd heard my name whispered in the static of my dreams. One night I got a message from an unknown number. It was just a single image attachment, a blurry screenshot of Courage, eyes wide, mouth open in a silent scream. No text, no explanation. I deleted it immediately, but the image burned itself into my mind. I started to wonder if someone was playing a prank, or if maybe I'd told the story to the wrong person, and it had spread further than I realized. A few days later, I got an email from someone claiming to be a former Cartoon Network animator. The message was short and cryptic. "You're not the first to see it. Don't try to find it again. Some things are better left lost." There was no signature, no way to reply. I stared at the screen for a long time, feeling a chill run down my spine. Was it just another part of the legend, or was there really someone out there who knew the truth about the episode? I started having trouble sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Courage running through the woods, the shadowy figure always just behind him, the scream building until it was all I could hear. I'd wake up gasping, the sound of static ringing in my ears. I stopped telling people about what had happened, afraid they'd think I was losing my mind, or worse, that they'd go looking for the episode themselves. But the story kept spreading. I saw new posts on forums, new videos on lost media channels, new rumors about people who'd watched the episode and couldn't forget it. Some said they'd found old VHS tapes at thrift stores. Others claimed to have seen the episode air late at night on obscure cable channels. The details were always the same. The scream, the shadow, the feeling that something was watching from the other side of the screen. Now, whenever I hear Courage's theme song, I feel a wave of dread. I wonder if the episode is still out there, waiting for someone else to stumble across it. And I wonder if somewhere the shadowy figure is still screaming, waiting for someone to scream back. I started to notice that I wasn't the only one haunted by the episode. Online, more people began sharing eerily similar experiences. TVs turning on by themselves, static-filled screens, dreams of Courage running through endless woods. Some described hearing their own names whispered in the dark, or feeling a cold presence in the room when they tried to sleep. A few even claimed that after watching the episode, they'd see flashes of the shadowy figure in mirrors or windows, just for a split second before it vanished. It was as if the episode had become a kind of curse, spreading from person to person, leaving a trail of sleepless nights and uneasy glances over the shoulder. I read stories about people who tried to record the episode, only to find their devices wiped clean, or the footage replaced with hours of static. Others said they'd tried to show it to friends, but the video would glitch or refuse to play, as if something was stopping it from being seen by too many people at once. One night, I got a call from Sam, a friend I hadn't spoken to in years. His voice was shaky, and he got straight to the point. "Did you ever watch that Courage episode? The one with the scream?" I hesitated, then admitted I had. He let out a long breath. "I think I did too. I can't get it out of my head. I keep hearing it. Even when I'm awake, I thought I was going crazy." We talked for a long time, sharing details, piecing together what we remembered. The more we talked, the more we realized our experiences matched almost exactly. The scream, the static, the feeling that something was watching us from the other side of the screen. After that call, I felt a little less alone, but also more afraid. If so many people had seen the episode, if so many were haunted by the same memories, what did it mean? Was it just a shared hallucination? A trick of the mind fueled by internet rumors and late-night fear? Or was there really something in that lost episode? Something that reached out and grabbed hold of anyone who watched it? I started keeping my curtains closed at night, unplugging my TV before bed, and leaving a light on in the hallway. It helped a little, but the dreams kept coming, and the feeling of being watched never really went away. Sometimes I'd wake up to the sound of a dog whimpering outside, or the faintest echo of a scream in the distance. And every time, I'd wonder if the episode was still out there, waiting for someone new to find it, someone new to scream back. I wish I could say the fear faded with time, that the memories of that episode eventually blurred into the background noise of everyday life. But the truth is, it's always there, lurking just beneath the surface. Sometimes I'll be flipping through channels late at night and catch a glimpse of Courage's pink fur, and my heart will skip a beat. I'll change the channel, but the unease lingers, a reminder that some stories never really end. I've learned to live with it, in a way. I don't go searching for lost episodes anymore, and I warn anyone who asks about the episode that screamed back to leave it alone. Most people laugh, thinking it's just another internet myth, but a few see the seriousness in my eyes and decide not to push further. I hope they never do. I hope they never feel the cold dread of hearing their own name whispered from a TV that shouldn't be on, or see a shadow move in the corner of their room when they're sure they're alone. Every so often I'll get a message from someone new, someone who's heard the story, or maybe even seen the episode for themselves. They always ask the same questions. Was it real? Did you really hear the scream? Does it ever go away? I never know how to answer. All I can say is that the fear is real, the memories are real, and the scream never really leaves you. There are nights when I lie awake, listening to the hum of electronics, the distant sounds of the city, and I wonder if the episode is still out there, waiting for the next curious soul to stumble across it. Maybe it's just a story, a cautionary tale about the dangers of digging too deep into the unknown. Or maybe, just maybe, it's something more. A warning, a curse, a scream that echoes through the static, waiting for someone to listen. So if you ever find yourself alone late at night, tempted to search for lost episodes or forbidden files, remember my story, remember the warnings. And if you ever hear your name whispered from the static, or see Courage's wide, terrified eyes staring back at you from the screen, do yourself a favor. Turn it off. Walk away. And don't look back, because some episodes aren't meant to be found, and some screams once heard will follow you forever.